Mercy Education, your one-stop solution for career guidance. Dear students, parents and academicians, Mercy is here for you to provide a complete guidance and information regarding intakes, courses and scholarships provided by best colleges all over Nepal with top-notch facilities and international infrastructures. For more detail, please contact 437-700.
Hello everyone, welcome to Mercy Education Study in Australia session. We have here Mr. Sagar Lohani, CEO Director from International Institute of Education, Sydney, Australia. As a CEO, Sagar role provides leadership to the Institute's purpose, value, direction and quality expectation. Sagar is also responsible for ensuring the active development and implementation of strategies to ensure that International Institute of Education remains competitive, profitable, and compliant. Sagar is an established lecturer, director of studies with various international colleges, and a business manager, and has completed studies in accounting, business management, vocational learning, designing. He is also currently studying legal studies with Charles Darwin University. Welcome, Mr. Sagar, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Ram.
From Mercy Education, we would like to congratulate. This is the first thing. It's a very big tenure for you, and personally, I'm very much happy that you are leading the big organization over there, so that the students and all the consultants over there can over here and there can avail this opportunity with you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about our institution. So let's, Mr. Sagar, can you briefly explain a little bit about yourself and your institution?
Thank you, Ram Dai, for giving me this opportunity to speak with Mercy Education. So basically, I've been into the education, especially vocational education industry since 2008, and recently I thought that, okay, why not, I should start my own. So we started International Institute of Education since 2020. So International Institute of Education has a vision to develop itself as a qualitative educational education provider. And basically, because I'm being myself a vocational education designer, I've designed most of the courses of International Institute of Education myself, and we hope to provide a qualitative and also a skillful qualification to International Institute student in International Institute of Education in future.
Yeah,
so we are located,
very nice.
We are located at Parramatta, NSW, and we are basically located into the Western Sydney area. Western Sydney itself comes up with the new opportunities to the international student because it's a new developing area. There's lots of business development has been happened in Western Sydney recently in Australia, and that brings up more career opportunities to our international students as well.
All right, thank you very much. As we all know that there's a pandemic going on, so what is your plan? How you are going to deliver the classes? That's
a very good question, and I've been into the consultation with many providers as well recently, not only the vocational education providers, but also with the different higher education providers as well. And now, see, it's very challenging, and also what happens here is doesn't matter what type of pandemic is there, we should not. So my perspective is that we should not stop teaching, and students should not stop learning, because that is the education cycle must keep going on. So we have come up with different types of strategies in terms of delivering during this pandemic situation. So what we are currently practicing at IIE is we're not going 100% online as well, and we're not delivering 100% physically in face-to-face as well. So we are teaching with social distancing currently, since the NSW lifted its restrictions a few weeks back. And if the restriction comes into the places, then we might go back into 100% online delivery back again. But currently, what we're doing is we're alternating a student with the days so they can actually come into the class and interact with their trainers. But yeah, there is a social distancing measures. The student gets we test the students' temperature, we provide them mask, and we also encourage them to wear the mask when they are inside the campus as well. And they have to register themselves with our reception every day when they come in, so we can keep track of them. And what we are doing is we're also encouraging those students who are around the hotspot areas. So like how the government is tracking which area is hotspot for the coronavirus. So we're keeping an eye onto that. And then we're actually encouraging those students from the hotspot areas to stay at home and study online. So at IIE, what we have a virtual learning software enabled. So when the teacher is teaching in the class, the student actually can attend the class from home as well. So there is not much difference.
Thank you very much. Okay, as a consultant personally, so there are many colleges and universities also where we are approaching, where sometimes they are approaching. So when students comes to us, when we counsel, why it's not there must be something like I have to convince or counsel about the International Institute of Education. There must be something of the why we are different from others, something we are like. And then what we as a consultant, what we are doing, we are just bridging the gap between the student and the college.
That's
we are
correct.
mediator.
Yeah.
First of all, the student comes and everything is there in the website, in the Australian government rule and regulation, everything. What we do is this college is led by the experienced guy like you. But later on, when they get the visa, they'll be you are the one who handle the students.
That's correct. Yeah.
Why, as a consultant, I want to ask you, there are many options. So why, yes, personally, if somebody will ask me about yourself and college, I know you personally, you belong to our country, you definitely do something better than other. Like IIE is led by you. Because of you, I personally know you, I'll definitely recommend. But this is, it's only me, I'm thinking like that, but everybody is not going to think like that. Why our institute is different from others? Why shall we, I'm representing all the consultancies now, why shall we recommend IIE?
That's very legitimate questions that you've asked, and I really appreciate that you come to that point, where I can explain the students and as well as you that why IIE. Now, first of all, let's go on to the competitive advantage. When we look onto the other provider in IIE, something that is very different about IIE is our courses makes us very different from others. The first thing is we look onto the telecommunication engineering courses. IIE is, IIE belongs to that small number of approved VET providers in terms of telecommunication engineering course. So there are only 7 providers for Diploma of Telecommunication Engineering in Australia for the VET providers, and IIE is one of those 7 VET providers. Then again, if we look onto the Advanced Diploma of Telecommunication Engineering, there are only 13 VET providers approved to teach those qualifications. So there are more than 4,000. There are more than 4,000 CRICOS providers in Australia, but only 13 of them are approved to teach Advanced Diploma of Telecommunication Engineering. So if we look onto the information technology sector, then we should look onto these approaches that, well, when students want to develop their career or they want to explore their education into the telecommunication, then they have very limited choice if they want to come to Australia. So, and basically now looking onto the other side, that why IIE? Why does IIE differs from XYZ VET colleges? So if we look into our recent development, then IIE comes up with a team of those consultants who's been into the VET market and managing other colleges, making other colleges compliance. Now they all come up together to form the IIE currently. So the management team of IIE is very strong itself, and they've been acting as a consultant in the market for the other vet providers. So definitely this will make a student a little bit assurance about the security of their college, like college remaining open for the rest of their studies time. Now, another factor that we should also look onto IIE's competitive advantage is if we look onto the information technology courses currently that IIE has it. Now, if you will notice the change that the government brought up the new ICT training package 1 week before, and within a 1 week time, IIE has that course on its scope. So we look onto providing latest training package to the student rather than just letting a student to continue in the old training package. Now, beside that, if we look onto the IIE team members, most of our trainers are university lecturers, and they not only teach in university, but they are also delivering the education or training in our colleges as well. So basically, at IIE, we are not only training a student for the vocational qualifications, but we are also preparing them for the higher education.
All right. Nice. All right, Mr. Sagar, I have to ask on behalf of the students what the students think. So hope you'll take it very positively. I have to ask, so talking about you are focusing on the telecommunication.
Yeah.
So how do you manage the theoretical and practical session like that? It's totally practical. So how you manage the classes? I'll recommend.
That is also another legitimate question. Now, yes. So the telecommunication.
I asked legitimate.
That's right. So the telecommunication itself comes with a lot of practical knowledge on it, but also it comes with the theoretical. So there is no question asked on how you deliver the theoretical knowledge to the students. Theoreticals are delivered through the classroom training and assessments. Beside that, now that's what that comes into the within the telecommunication. There are a lot of practical that is associated with the telecommunication courses. Basically, students need to have access to all those telecommunication materials, like the telecommunication poles, networks, antennas, and all those things. So IIE has a communication room built up for the telecommunication students, so they can do all their practical inside the IIE within the simulated environment. Basically, also what IIE has done is IIE has done a couple of MOUs, so that's an agreement with the industry partners where they will allow IIE students to go for the excursion. So they will go and have a look onto the actual data center. So IIE just got into the agreement with one of the data center in Brazil now, so they can actually visit the data center. They can actually feel telecommunication sites, and they can actually feel like how the work is how the work is done. Also, beside that, IIE team is also looking around to explore other options in telecommunications for a student, because advanced diploma of telecommunication networking, after the completion of that course, the student can actually move on to assessing their skill on level 1 skill. And that level, if they meet the work experience and the qualification requirement with that advanced diploma of telecommunication network engineering, they can actually look onto the residency pathway as well. So,
all right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Do you offer scholarship as of the moment? Pandemic going on, now we can't send students, international flight is not there. But is there anything in your mind, you can provide some sort of scholarship to international students?
We have actually already, IIE has already put it onto the pricing, the tuition fees, scholarship and places for the international student, where we have already discounted, or we have already reduced our fees more than 30% for the overseas student. So the price that the tuition fees that we're sending out for our international education partners in overseas are already discounted for the all students. So it's not only for the extraordinary student, but for all of the students. It's already been discounted almost about 30%. And we are also working out for the extraordinary student that what type of
So
scholarship.
there is nothing. Sorry, there is nothing like everybody can qualify for scholarship, or so you are talking about everyone who is applying, they'll get the scholarship, or that.
That's correct. For October, the October prices that we've released is actually 30% less than their original price, and everyone is eligible for that.
Okay.
Beside that, we will also provide extra scholarship for those students who are extraordinary. For example, let's say that the education partners refer that, okay, this student has more than 70%, then we'll think about providing more scholarship to those students as well.
Nice. And let's talk about the English proficiency, as you are running the telecommunication engineering tech course. So what is your requirement for English?
See, the telecommunication engineering has 2 levels of courses. So there is one diploma, and to complete the diploma, a student must have to go from certificate 4 pathway. But there is another qualification that is advanced diploma. So advanced diploma doesn't really require any qualification to be completed before you move on to advanced diploma of telecommunications. So basically, we will look on to the students who are from the computer engineering background from overseas. And if they are looking to get onto the advanced diploma of telecommunication, then definitely we'll place on certain percentage or GPA requirement for them to go on to advanced diploma. And at that time, we might have to limit a student into each band 6 IELTS or 6.5 overall IELTS. But basically, for all of the other courses with IIE, a student can apply to IIE with 5.5 IELTS, overall 5.5 IELTS, with no band less than 5.5.
All right. Thank you very much, Sagar. I don't want to take more time as you are very busy. I just want to thank you. Like, you are being a very busy person, you have given us time, your precious time. So any message for our aspiring students for IIE from Nepal?
Definitely. I wanted to let the student know that the education is the most discussed thing that our community can provide to its people. And I always tell even my students when I'm teaching in the class that no one yet in the world has been regretted of getting educated. So they will not either. And also, it is very important for you all to choose the courses very wisely. Don't choose the course because your family wants you to study that, but choose the course that you're passionate for. Because when you have passion for something, you are self-motivated. And for education, no one can motivate you except yourself. So you are the motivator of yourself. And if you are motivated and you have passion to study, IIE is there to set you apart. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My mother, who taught me to take my first steps on this beautiful earth. My father, who was with me in all my happy moments. My family, who taught me to struggle at each and every moment.
Mercy Education, who showed me the way to a bright future. Now I'm ready for international education. How about you?
Visit Mercy Education today to be able to get genuine and authentic counseling.
Your partner for international education.